All right, friends. Hello. It is Casey from CarleaPlans. It is my long-awaited talk through plan with me, discussing all things Stranger Things Season 5. So, I am, of course, using the kit. I'm putting my hair up like we're doing the thing, people. Kit that swept the internet, A Stranger Christmas, by my girl, Cafe with Anna. Y'all, this exclusive art eats so hard. And I can't wait to talk about Season 5 because I have a lot of thoughts, feelings, and opinions. And if I'm being honest, not all of them are pleasant. So here are the full boxes. We have my favorite couple, Max and Lucas. Lucas is looking like a damn snack. We have the Demogorgon cake, the buyer's house, little wreath with running up that hill, Eggos, little clock with the gang, walkie-talkie, some presents, and this is the week of Christmas. Then we have the ornaments, bottom washi, and date covers. We have the deco with my little dude, Eddie. Love him so much. Flags, week, Monday to Sunday, heart checklist, movie marquee, habit trackers. We have square boxes, rounded quarter boxes, glitter headers, extra little things, quarter, third, half boxes in patterns, quarter, third, half boxes in solids. We have square boxes, just all the things, extra little things here. We do have 4 extra full boxes, little Eddie with the bat, so I will, of course, be using that. The tree, which I love so much, little things. This did come as a freebie with the kit. It is the tall box of the tree, and I love this so much. This is like the detail so good on this. And then I did get the little thing add-on, which I, of course, used. And I'm pairing this with all the foil from Plannahannah. So we'll start out. I did get the Christmas lights bundle because, you know, if you know, you know. So there's 2 headers of the lights, icons, stroke box, underlays, which I think are fun, some deco here, flags, and I got this in like a sparkly red foil. I think it works well. We have date numbers, hole reinforcers, corners, scripts, the light overlays. Then we have 2 sheets of the string light underlays, which I will not be using because I have other underlays I'm going to use because I have to be extra with this spread. I have 2 of the D&D underlays in like a antique gold, copper, bronze. I forgot what I got. Foil. I got the Stranger Things overlays. Got to use the Steve the hair. Love him so much. You know, why not get these? And then I did get some solid green, hunter green solids. And I have to use 2 full box extenders this week. So I have this full box extender sheet from Sugar Pop Fizz. So let us get started. What I'm going to do, okay, I'm going to use this, I can set this aside and then full boxes. Okay, I'll leave the little things sheet to the side. I've been so excited to plan this week that I've been like counting down. So let me get my inserts. Typically I film this at 1.5. So what I'm going to do, I literally took notes. So, and I have the description for the episodes pulled up. So truly, like, we're starting at the beginning. So this is full of spoilers. If you did not watch Stranger Things, you're going to be spoiled. Like, I'm not holding back. I'm not doing a spoiler-free anything. This is going to be full wham bam. Thank you, ma'am, spoilers. So let's get started. I just want you to know, Duffer Brothers, I didn't have to send you the extremely strongly worded email that I had pre-written because you allowed my boy Steve the Hair to live. Okay? If you had killed him, okay, like you did a little fake out, okay, you did a little fakey fake, I would have sent you a strongly worded email and I probably would have CC'd your mom. Okay? I just wanted to let you know. I have this like, it's like a leftover sticker. Oh, did I get it? This is from last week. Okay, whatever. The rest of it will be fine. So season 5, episode 1. Okay, so we kind of start out season 5, episode 1, starts out with a flashback of Will getting infected. Now, you need to know, Will is not my favorite Stranger Things character. Mike is not my favorite Stranger Things character. Lucas, I tolerate because of Max. I think if he was with the boys, no. So episode 1. Okay, we're at the radio station. I love so much that they basically like bought this radio station and they're using it for their underground missions. Love that. I love that Rockin' Robin is our radio host. Robin is such a good addition to the Stranger Things universe. I really like Robin and Steve's friendship very much. Okay, so I do need an extender. Okay, wait. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I need one on Tuesday and Wednesday. I'm actually going to pause while I figure out the extender because this takes me a bit and then I'll be back. Okay, truthfully, I don't want to tell you how long that took me, but it took me a bit. So that's fine. So I love the fact that they bought or like using, I don't really know the context of that, but they bought this radio station. They're using it as their hideout. Nancy's there, the kids. It's just so good. It's so good. So where are all my underlays? Where did I put them? Here we go. So I love that. And in episode 1, okay, they kind of lay out their plan for these crawls to find Vecna in the Upside Down. Hopper is training Jane, even though I will forever and always call her 11. Or maybe that's in the other episode. I don't know. And then Will is kind of, doing the most. I'm sorry, I really just don't like Will. I appreciate his character arc. I appreciate the fact that him and Robin are part of the LGBTQ community and like that they're all so cool with it. I appreciate that, but Will is really insufferable to me. And if Will is your favorite Stranger Things character, I truly don't know that we can, coexist and be friends. No, I'm just kidding. So anyways, they're, going in the Upside Down. They're like, oh, guys, we got this sweet opportunity. They're doing a run or whatever the military is doing. And they're going to go in the Upside Down and they're going to try to find Vecna. So, of course, Hop gets stuck. He gets stuck in the Upside Down because Jim Hopper is so effing nosy. He can't let anybody help him, right? Just a mess. Truly, Jim, love you so much, but you are a mess. So I was also kind of irritated because I didn't get to see my favorite, Murray, in season 1, or episode 1. I keep saying season 1. I'm a mess. But I did appreciate that my boy Steve the Hare really has made it on every episode. I think the Duffer Brothers understood the assignment and that he is a fan favorite because he was everywhere, and as he should be. He's a beautiful specimen of a man. So Hop gets stuck in the Upside Down. Will kind of notices he's like having these telepathic powers, which is sick. And he is like, you got to get to Holly. They're coming for the Wheeler's house. You got to get to Holly. Now, I know that there's a lot of discourse on the internet about Holly Wheeler. She is like whatever to me. she's fine. I think for the purpose that she serves, she's good. And because I think we've seen glimpses of Holly's connection to the Upside Down for quite a bit. I mean, in season 1, she kind of sees the thing, or the Demogorgon, like pulsing in the walls, and she's like, oh, Mom, so I think Holly has always had a connection to the Upside Down, and I did like that they were exploring it. Little annoyed that we have to like introduce all these characters in the last season, because then it's like, okay, thanks for participating, like get your Stranger Things Upside Down participation trophy on the way out. That's kind of how that felt, low-key. So Will, gets his telepathic powers, which is pretty cool. I don't mind Will. And yeah, so then, we're moving on, right? Episode 2. How much? I probably have to about that for like 10 minutes. This really, like, when I think about Stranger Things, this is what goes on in my head. So y'all are really privy to what is going on. Do I want to put, no, I want to put maybe Lukey over here. We'll put Lucas here. So then episode 2, right? The Demogorgon, of course, shows up at the Wheeler's house. And Miss Nancy, or excuse me, not Miss Nancy, but Karen finally decides to do something. Now, I'm sorry, okay? The Demogorgon is coming for Holly. Karen's in the bathtub with her wine, which was so 80s. And to be honest with you, the scenes with Karen and Holly in this episode, I ate that shit up. With her in the bathtub with the wine. And then Ted Wheeler, where is he? Oh, nobody knows. Because Ted does nothing, okay? Ted does nothing. Ted has done nothing for 5 seasons. Why would Ted do anything in the last season, right? It's like he almost didn't get the memo. Hey, Ted, we're almost done filming. Anyways, so then the kind of, Karen and Ted are pretty banged up. They keep looking for Holly, but she's in the Upside Down, right? While Karen is in the hospital, of course, Nancy and Mike are distraught. Not over Ted, though, okay? Nobody is visiting Ted, okay? But they're visiting Karen. Because they're like, Mom, have you ever heard of this Mr. What's-It guy? Mr. What's-It, surprise, surprise, is Vecna, okay? Fine episode, Then we learn, like, a little bit more about how Mr. What's-It has been kind of following Holly and a lot of the kids in Hawkins, really predatory vibes, if I'm being honest. But he's imaginary, right? Because he's this like mystical thing, and it's a whole thing. And we learn more about kind of we're starting, I think Nancy is starting to put 2 and 2 together, that Vecna has been following her sister. Her sister is stuck in the Upside Down. She is with Vecna, but who she knows as Mr. What's-It. Now, from there, he stalked Holly. Okay, there we go. So then we're in kind of episode 3, where Vecna is targeting Derek. Derek is one of Holly's classmates, and I am going to be very honest with you. Derek, one of my favorite standout characters. Derek's a little shithead. And I mean, low-key, like, yeah, they did kidnap They did kidnap Derek and his whole family. They're taking him to a barn to try to, like, get the Demogorgons there so Will can do his, like, mind hive or hive mind, whatever you want to call it, thing. Like, yeah, that was, honestly, Derek was also a bright light in this season. Just a little bit of a shithead. And to be honest with you, we love Derek, okay? We love Derek. I thought he was great. really thought he was great. The kidnapping scene also is where Will realizes that he can really tap into the hive mind when they're all together like this, right? Okay, hold on. I'm also going to put a day extender here. You know, it takes me a bit. I'll be right back. That one did not take me nearly as long as the other one did. So Will's powers definitely, I think in the first couple episodes, Will's powers definitely are developing, definitely are like, we're getting somewhere with Will Byers, right? And finally, that was nice to see because I feel like for most of the seasons, Will really has been in the background. Yes, he's one of the core 4 boys, but really like not a lot of focus on him. And I think that's maybe a little bit part of the story arc, like feeling, he's gay, he's realizing he's gay, and he, I think feels like a little bit left out, which I do understand. I do. I feel for Will because I do like Will. Well, no, he's okay. Like this season, I think he grew on me because of his finally, like, we got somewhere with him. I don't know. I've always felt like he's just been so blah. But finally, in season 4, 11 and Hop are in the military base. So this thing is like, we're gone from Dr. Brenner to, Elle being in the underground with the mind tricks and with her sister. And we really have gone, like, I feel like we've gone full circle. We're back with this being a military operation. Dr. K is kind of the villain. She's a villain in this season. Obviously, like, we're trying to really stop Vecna, but Dr. K is really the bad bitch in this season. And she is a bad bitch. So Hop and 11, kind of in the first couple episodes, Dustin is really struggling with the death of Eddie Munson. He doesn't feel like he fits in with the rest of the kids anymore because he's still very much grieving. He still wears his Hellfire Club shirt, or maybe it's Eddie's. He wears Eddie's ring. I think he wears Eddie's necklace or rings, I think. I want to say it's the rings. And that was really touching because I feel like Dustin needs his friends, right? They all need each other, but Dustin really needs his friends. So that was very emotional for me. I think we're just going to do these lights on the bottom washi. So in episode 4, Holly is kind of hanging out with Vecna. He gives her this little, I assume it's like a really 80s, I wasn't born in the 80s, boombox with Tiffany's I Think We're Alone Now. She's dancing. She has her little 80s montage with the Easy Bake Oven, chilling at the Krill house. While Henry is gone to pick up the other children, Max, who is still in Henry's mind, gets a message to Holly, basically with a map, because Max is hiding out in the caves that are conveniently very close to the Krill house Krill house in Henry's mind. So Max we finally see Max at the end of the episode, right? And it's crazy because like it's like, oh my God, who is it? It's Max, right? And Max has been there since really like her death, we'll call it. She's looking for the ways to get out of Henry's mind. And she's like, oh my God, Holly, I'm going to keep you safe, right? And in the end of that episode, it's confirmed that Henry thinks that these kids are the perfect vessel to reshape the world as he wants it to be reshapen. Creep. And then at the end of episode 4, there's kind of like a big fight scene where like there's demogorgons in all these places. They're trying to save these kids. And Will realizes that he also has psychic abilities. That's how the first, because they released in 3 parts. So that's how the first couple parts of the first 4 episodes go. I really liked the first 4 episodes. It was very action-packed. I like everybody's doing their own part. Nancy, Steve, and Jonathan are kind of loading up on supplies. They're with Robin. They're with Murray. They're working with Mike and the rest of them to kind of get things on track, which I do appreciate because I think, sorry about that, everyone. But these episodes were good. I think but I feel like you can't look at them as like the first 4 episodes, then the next 4 episodes, because really you have to judge the season as a whole. I think finally we're getting more about Vecna, but really his major plot points come later in the episode. So those are the first episodes that came out on Thanksgiving. Those episodes were pretty good. I thought they were really action-packed, keeping up with the seasons. We're learning about, they learn about wormholes in the next set of episodes. But it's almost like the episodes were set up like super action-packed, prep period, and then weak-ass final battle. I'm sorry. If I'm going to hold true. I'm not judging you if you liked those episodes, but I did not. I did not think the last episode was good. But we will continue with episode 5. So now the kids are in Camatraz with Vecna. They're there. They're like, oh, we love it here. You're the best. They think Holly and Derek are snakes, but Derek kind of reveals himself to Holly, and he's like, oh, yeah, I'm besties with your brother. And she's like, what? She's like a little low-key confused. I thought that was really good. I also liked, let's put this up. Oh, no. Let's do it like this. Sorry, I'm a mess. But overall, those episodes were good. I think they set up the next batch of episodes pretty well, too. So episode 5, the kids are there. They love Mr. Whatsit. They think he's the friggin' bee's knees, best thing since sliced bread. And they don't believe Holly. Why would they? She's Holly. All right, we might... Oh. I don't want to cut off Max. Okay. Okay. We're gonna... Oop. Sorry, Maxine. I think we're gonna do this. Oh, sticker surgery. Sorry, y'all. I know you came for my thoughts, feelings, and opinions. This is what you're going to get. We're just maybe not going to put anything in the sidebar. Because I don't want to cut off Miss Max. So I think we'll put the Merry Christmas up at the top. All right, that's good. That's good. I don't want to cut off her because she's my favy. Not that I don't mind 11, but I can't stand Mike. All right, yeah, that's better. All right, I don't need that right now. Okay, look at us working our way through. Now we get to do the overlays. So I gotta pull this, and I gotta pull this for right now. Y'all, this is already looking so fantastic. I really want to put Steve. Okay. All right. I don't know what we're going to do. I'm like a little stressed about. Maybe we can put this on Lucas. The low demos. We'll put this one with the, but yeah, so let's get back to that. So the kids are like, oh, Holly, Derek, Mr. Whatsit wouldn't do that. He's amazing. And they're like, yeah, he's a crazy psychopath. But anyways, you know, they're kids. They don't know. And in the meantime, at the end of episode 4, it's kind of like it's a cliffhanger, because there's definitely something at this lab with Dr. K that she doesn't want to get out. And it's Eleven's sister, Callie, or Callie. I don't know how you pronounce her name. I thought she was like a little bit of a snake, to be honest. I've always thought that ever since she was introduced in season, what was it, 2? I think it was season 2. I always thought she was a little bit of a snake. Something was not right with her. And really, up until the end, I continued to think that. I think she got like her little redemption arc and it was fine, but I could have done without her, to be honest with you. I just could have, I'm being honest. All right, let's put this here. Kind of the lights. So they kind of meet up with her. She's like, oh, hey guys, you know, it's me, Callie. And everybody's like, yeah, hey girl. You know, she's not like a fan favorite, I would say. But anyways, they get her out of there. They pull her out because, of course, Eleven's like, yo, I need my sister. And not that she's ever done anything for you, but Dustin then thinks, because then the whole thing with Nancy and Jonathan goes on. And I have to be honest with you, I don't understand the relationship between Nancy and Jonathan. They are not right for each other. I think they have trauma bonding, and that's why they're together, because you cannot tell me that Nancy and Steve were not originally going to be endgame. It was not supposed to be Jonathan. I'm just going to say that out loud. Jonathan, I'm going to put the Demogorgon. Oh my God, it looks like it's sitting on the couch. Oh, that's really something special. That's something special to me. I love it. So that's kind of where we are. Season. Oh, I dropped something. Oh, it went all the way over here. I dropped this all the way over there. I'm a mess. Then episode 6, we kind of get the science teacher comes back. Science teacher is like really the key to this whole kit and caboodle. He's like, y'all, this is a wormhole. This is a classic wormhole. And earlier in the season, Erica is in this class, who Erica St. Clair is Lucas's sister. She really kills me. I love Erica so very much. I think if you are watching Stranger Things, you need to keep an eye out for Lucas's sister, Erica, because she has some of the best one-liners in the show. Can't spell Erica without America without Erica. Love her. Then we're with Murray. Finally makes some appearances. Murray is one of my favorites. I love him so much. And if you don't love Murray, you are wrong. I'm just gonna say that. We'll put this here. That looks cute. All right, lights there. We'll put something here. maybe just like a light, and then we'll put, y'all, space is looking fire right now. We'll put Dusty Buns. You know, maybe we'll leave that. Okay. This is here. I got that. I gotta do headers. Ooh, do I not have that? Oh, no. Oh, here we go. So, that's that. They kind of wake the science teacher up. He has a lady at his house. That was funny. Oh, he's always like, these damn kids. They don't pay me enough. I'm a middle school science teacher at a public high school. They don't pay me enough for this shit. And you know what? I feel that, sir. I really feel that. So, these episodes are definitely the kind of prep periods. Karen has her badass moment where she saves Lucas, Max, Robin, and Robin's girlfriend. What's her name? Violet? Vivian? Honestly, I don't even know. I really don't know. Will kind of goes, oh, Vicky. Her name's Vicky. I know it started with a V. I'm like, it's something. And Karen has her big moment. Ted Wheeler still did nothing. I think if Ted had died, I don't even know if anybody would have noticed, to be honest with you, because Ted did nothing for 5 seasons. And that's just really a fact of life, is that Ted did nothing, and I think likes it. I think Ted likes the fact that he did nothing. I'm just being very honest with you about that. So now we're kind of getting into, like, they're really prepping for the Vecna fight. They realize, like, we can use the radio station. It has a big tower. We kind of have to get the worlds to connect. They have to go into, what are they calling it? Albatross? I think it's called Albatross. I don't know. I'm trying to look up what these things are called. Oh, the Abyss. It's called the Abyss. So, you know, Elle's doing her thing. Collie's doing her thing. Hop's doing his thing. You know, then Will has this, like, big come to Jesus moment right before the big fight. And Will finally comes out as gay. It was a very well done scene, I thought. And I appreciated it. Max, I don't want to get into Maxine yet, but I really felt like finally they're doing something with Will, right? I know that this was like bigger than just, you know, they're kids, right? But I'm like, finally they're doing something with William. And I really liked it. I thought that was one of the better moments for me in season 5. I thought that was really, really well done. And I think Will deserved like a big moment like that. I really do. I think he deserved it. And I'm happy that it happened. You know, he kind of confesses his love for Mike. Mike, of course, is like, whoa, I had no idea. Shut up, Mike. You're so insensitive. And the rest of them are like, bet Will, love you, buddy. Jonathan always knew. I think Jonathan kind of confesses that he knew sometime in season 4 when they're in California. He's like, yeah, you know what, buddy, no matter what, I would love you. And Will's like, I know, Jonathan, you're the best brother ever. And like low-key Jonathan is. He's very in touch with his feminine side, so I can appreciate that. But I saw a lot of hate about that scene. And it's kind of like Will was almost giving them a pep talk. Not almost. He was giving them a pep talk. Like, hey guys, this is kind of what's going on with me. You know, I've always felt excluded a little bit because I'm different. And that's okay, Will. You know, they're all like, yeah, bet Will, love you, buddy. And I thought that was good. So that's kind of how that episode ends. And so those episodes are kind of like the planning, right? You have to think, this show is just one big D&D campaign, right? like, it's not, D&D is not all action-packed, like I think they make it sound at first. It's really a slow, or it can be a slow process. So the first 7 episodes were pretty good. I love the emotional moment. So it was Jonathan, Nancy, Dustin, and Steve. They're at Hawkins' lab. Basically, this is when Dustin, they find Dr. Brenner's notes, right? Because it's frozen in time. And Dustin, him and Steve were kind of going at it because Dustin had been pushing everybody away. But him and Steve have a really, really beautiful moment. And their friendship is one of the best parts about the show. I think it shows really beautiful male emotion in a time when men are not necessarily so emotional. And it's really beautiful. I could cry thinking about it, but I really like that. Dustin and Steve are really the trio, the duo. I love them. So then we're finally at the final boss, right? It's all set up. Henry's got these kids. Max woke up. Max and Holly they're in the upside down. They're like at, because the whole thing is like Vecna has this thing, got to get out of his mind, like something that grounds you to reality. And then there's a really beautiful moment when Max wakes up that she realizes she never needed Kate Bush. She just needed Lucas. And that, y'all, ooh, that was rough. That was a rough moment for me. That was beautiful. Like these are kids, like you have to think these are, well, I know they look like grown ass people in this because it's been so long, but these are kids, right? And she's crying and she's like, I never needed Kate Bush. I just needed you, because she realized when she kind of got stuck, not when the radio went off, but when Lucas let go of her hand, he was her anchor back to the real world. And he never left her side. And oh God, their reunion is beautiful. And then Max can't walk for a bit. That was, I don't know if that's how it is when you get out of a coma. Personally, I've never been in a coma to know. But I'll definitely, if I'm ever in a coma and then I come out of it, I will report back to you guys. So we have the final episode, right? Everybody's kind of prepared. They're going back into the upside down. We got Murray, my dude. And yeah, so I finished the base. I'm going to pause here. I'm going to take a couple pictures of the base, and then we're going to get into the final episode and the rest of my thoughts about season 5. All right, y'all. We're zooming in. We're going for it. All right. So this rest of the Plan With Me, will be discussing episode 8, the final Stranger Things episode, and really my thoughts. It was not my favorite. It was not. Now, I understand, I get it, but is not good. Anyways, before I get into that, all of my scripts for this week are from my girl CarleaPlans. I do PR for CarleaPlans. You can use code Casey15 to save 15%, or mention me in the notes if she is already having a sale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, we'll do 4 and 4. So, okay, don't get me wrong, right? I love nerdy shit. I am a nerd. Not a surprise. But season 5, episode 8 felt like a really, really poorly written fan fiction. Especially when you compare it to the rest of the show. Right? So they spent 5 seasons. 5 seasons. How many episodes are there? Like 50 episodes? However many episodes of Stranger Things there were, that's how long they've been prepping, learning, getting ready, having setbacks, fighting Demogorgons. That's how long it took them to prep, get ready for, and fight Vecna. Do you know how long the fight lasted? Maybe about 3 minutes. Maybe about 3 minutes. Like, what? Yeah, no, that was horrible. The final episode was horrible. Horrible. You cannot tell me, and I'm using Steve's BMW on the Friends Don't Lie sheet from CarleaPlans to mark errands, and that is tickling me in a way that I never knew I needed. Anyways, you cannot tell me that Vecna just died. Like, you're not getting me to believe that. I'm sorry, you're not. Because it took these people so long to prep, get the right equipment, get everybody, unveil all this stuff about Vecna, right? For it just to be over. How is that even possible? Like, it's not possible. And I know, like, oh, the power of friendship. Yeah, okay, fine. But why then wasn't the power of friendship good enough all for the rest of the 5 seasons when Vecna, the Mind Flayer, are literally kicking their ass in season 1, season 2, season 3, and season 4. But all of a sudden, in season 5, Vecna can't possibly stand up to them anymore, and it's done. It's just done. How are you getting me to believe that? What kind of suspension of reality do you need me to buy into? Because I couldn't buy into it. I could not buy into it. No. Boss battles in D&D are a fight. And you can't even say that this boss battle took 5 seasons. No, because it didn't. Because in season 1, they fought the Demogorgons. In season 2, they're fighting all these other things. And then in season 4, finally, they're like, okay, yeah, we got this. Like, we have to destroy Vecna. You know, they figure it out with Will doing the powers. Oh, Elle and her powers. Kali and her power. Like, they're using all this stuff, right? And then you tell me it's done. Oh, no, we're done now. Sorry, Mr. Vecna. Like, no, this is not right. This is not right. Like, no, it was horrible. So we will do 4, 3, 3. Okay, I think that's how I set that up. But, y'all, that last episode. And then, you mean to tell me that the fight ended when there was still an hour something left? I was sitting there anxious for the last hour because I was waiting for something to happen. Duffer Brothers. And then they almost killed Steve. And I was, my heart, I was about to have a heart attack because they almost killed Steve. No, that would have not been good for the Duffer Brothers. I would have raged. I would like to rage now, please. Yeah, they almost killed Steve, and no, it's not something that I want to be a part of. Definitely not something that I would like to have happen. So that was, like, I thought that was good. Like, they're, you know, him and Jonathan kind of settled out their differences. Excuse me, Steve and Dustin kind of came back together, which I loved because, you know, they're besties. And so we got, this will be here. Boom, 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 boom. So this one will be here. I just got to make sure, y'all, that my Stranger Things spread, because this will be the last spread of 2025, is looking right and tight. Okay. But I just, like, I can't believe that after all that work, after all that unknown, the Elle losing her powers, gaining her powers, that Vecna basically gave up, right? They discovered his whole thing. He was in the cave. He killed that man as a young boy, and then that kind of messed with him. So they attack him in a weak moment. Like, great, expose your enemy's weakness. I'm all about that. But really? Then it was just kind of done? I just like can't believe that. It took them just so long for that to be the fight. Like D&D bad, like if you've never played D&D, sometimes in a session, that's all you do is the boss fight, right? So I get that in episode 8, like that was the boss fight episode, but yeah, I have a problem with the duffers. That was not good. That was not good. Oof. And and then we're not even getting into the fact about the horrific fan fiction. Like, basically, Will with his new powers and 11 just basically like overpower Henry. Then Joyce kind of goes through her spiel about like, you picked the wrong family. Okay, Joyce, like finally have your moment. But like, and as much as I love Winona Ryder, like Joyce's character was getting to be a bit much. Like, girl, your son, it's like, I get it. That's your baby boy, but oof, Joyce, give it a rest, girl. Give it a rest. Like, you got to let that boy breathe. You got to let that boy breathe, girl. So Joyce, like, low-key was irritating me a little bit. And then we got like the last hour of Stranger Things left. And here's where the really extremely poor fan fiction started, right? Like, ugh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think I have to do 4, and then we'll do 3. Okay, that's fine. But it was just, I don't know. I really was like, this is it? You know, then like the whole thing with Elle, like sacrificing herself, that I had a feeling she was either going to die or do something like that. So I kind of saw, I didn't see like that exact thing coming, but I did expect something with Elle to happen. I did expect that. This kind of all, like, not started with her, but she pushed Henry into the upside down. She kind of created this mess in a way, right? So I did expect there to be some kind of, like, something with her. Some kind of sacrifice. So she did that, right? So then they're all devastated. But then at the end, right, like with the whole I believe thing, I do believe something like that is possible. I do. I don't think Elle's just dead. I do think like she had a sister with the mind control powers to let them see what they thought. And I do, but you know, like take Mike with you. Like he's so insufferable, girl. Take him, please. He needs to be out of Hawkins. He needs to be out of that goddamn basement. Take him with you, please. And like the ending scene where the kids are all playing D&D and they put their little binders on the shelf. Like, yeah, that got me. That was emotional. And then his sister's like, finally, you guys are done. It's our turn now. That was nice. And I do think that kind of sets up the kind of spin-off that the Duffer Brothers are doing. They've mentioned that in interviews that they are planning to continue in the Stranger Things universe, but like this story is done. So that's fine to me, but and I do believe like it's possible that Elle is alive. So like I'll give them that. But like, did we really need just, like, the extremely poorly written fan fiction? What was touching, though, to me was when the kids graduated from high school and Dustin did what Eddie had always said he was going to do. He said he was going to snatch the diploma from the principal. He was going to flip him the bird. And he did that. And then Erica was there. But, like, can we also talk about for a minute, what the fuck was Erica wearing at that graduation? Like, what the F was she wearing? Somebody who was extremely stylish. She's wearing a purple polyester dress with some shoulder pads. That is not an Erica outfit. No, not even for a graduation. That was not an Erica outfit. I do not believe that. And then, like, I did like that Steve is the coach of the baseball. He got his kids. You know, Nancy's whatever. She got some kind of weird haircut. Her and Karen got, like, a weird haircut. Whatever. That's their business. First half is done. I will go through where all the stickers are from at the end. But let me look up. I'm going to look up some... Let's see. Let me see. Let's see. Synopsis. I want to show where the kid, you know. Okay, so we're 18 months after, right? In the kind of in the right side up, they call it. We're 18 months after the fact. Mike is struggling because 11 sacrificed herself. So that, yeah, I do get that. Mike is insufferable. He doesn't have his little girlfriend anymore. Everybody else is kind of like moving on. And, you know, Dustin's planning to go to college, and Mike is just Mike. Oops. This would be a boom. Oh, I put this down the wrong way. What am I even doing? I'm just like a mess. So Karen's like, I can't find Mike. Have you seen Mike? And Hop finds him at the memorial. They have a little bit of a touching moment because Hop has now lost 2 of his daughters. But another reason that I do believe that 11 is still alive is that Hop is way too calm about all this. So I definitely think she has communicated with him like, yo, Hop, I'm good. I can't come back to Hawkins, but I'm somewhere with the waterfalls and the rainbows, and I'm good, right? Because when she gave him back the little bracelet or the hair tie or whatever it is, I didn't expect him to handle that very well. And he did, though. He did. So that was nice. But again, the graduation scene minus Erica's dress was really good. I love the nods to Eddie that they did in season 5. Because I think that was a big deal for the kids. Like, that was a really big deal when he sacrificed himself for them. And I still, like, Eddie is still one of those characters. It was so sad that he was only with us for a season, but he will never be forgotten because, okay, I have to do a little, but the whole thing, like, you know, I'm happy that we got some closure on the whole Nancy Jonathan thing. That was good. You know, Dustin, I liked that him and Steve are still besties because Steve picked him up at college, and I thought that was nice. And then we just got Mike, like, writing in his basement or in his room or wherever he is. I don't know. I just was like, ugh. A part that I did like, though, was Hop and Joyce got engaged. Like, Hop lost 2 daughters, but he gained 2 sons. And how they're going to move to Montauk, which I think is somewhere in, like, actually, I have no idea where it is. It sounds so familiar to me that I feel like I probably should know where it is, but I don't. Yeah, that's a thing. So I loved that. I thought that scene was really nice. At first, I thought because Jonathan was going to propose to Nancy, and then in the scene where they're, like, in the lab and it's, like, melting, I think he's like, oh, yeah, just kidding, girl. I was going to do this, but now I'm not. A mess. But, yeah, they're good. So, like, all in all, I didn't think it was a bad season. But the ending, it's like, did they just give up? Like, that's kind of how it felt, was like the Duffers just gave up. And for such a well-developed, well-thought-out previous 5, really, because I even thought the rest of season 5 was good. It was really, for me, and I know, like, people said, oh, I didn't like this part of season. That's fine. You know, there were things about season 5 that I didn't care for as well. But overall, it was a good season. But then for people to say, like, oh, the Duffers have been quoted saying, oh, we never wanted to write. Then what are you doing writing a TV show? Right? Anyways. So that was like, but it just felt like they rushed. Because really, like, the final episode was 2 hours and something. It was two, like, just over 2 hours, right? And the final boss was done with over an hour left. Why? Why couldn't you add a little more? And I think it's weird that the Demogorgons have been all over these past seasons, but they're not in the abyss. That was strange. I thought that was very weird. Like, no Demogorgons? What, did they run out of money? You can't tell me they ran out of money. This has got to be Netflix's, like, most successful show. And yet there was not one single Demogorgon in that final episode in the Abyss. Not one. That was weird. Andrew liked it. Because obviously, like, I watched it with him. He liked it. I was just bored. Yeah, unpopular opinion. I didn't think that the final... I just, like, it needed more. It felt incomplete. And, like, they're leaving Hawkins. That was sad. The show ending made me sad. But the final episode, like, I didn't feel... The most I felt in the final episode was when they did that fake out with Steve's death. The rest of it, I didn't feel sad. Like, it was nice when the kids had their graduation moment. Mike feels the little tingling thing, like it's not going to be over. I thought something was going to happen at the graduation. Nothing happened at the graduation. I don't know. I want to know what your thoughts, feelings, and opinions about Stranger Things season 5 are. It doesn't matter if it's the whole, you could tell me, like, your thoughts on the whole episode, just the last episode. I don't care. I would like to know if you're, like, if you loved the ending, if you didn't like the ending. I want to know, because I felt like they put so, like, it goes back to, like, the whole thing with the boss, right? They spent 5 seasons and 7 episodes gearing up to fight this thing, prepping, learning, you know, and then it just was over. And that's really how the ending felt for me. It just felt like, let's hurry up and have this be over. And if they wanted to do that, they did not need to hype this episode up so much. And I know they do that because, like, obviously the more watches it gets on Netflix, the better they do overall. I understand that, but good Lord. That was just horrible. It was horrible. I'm sorry to anybody who really liked the final episode and I'm shitting on it. I thought it was lame. I did. Let's go back to the... All right, so... prank that would make Eddie Munson proud. Hopper proposes to Joyce, which I really liked. I'm happy that they're finally getting their happily ever after as two people who have had a lot of shitty things happen to them. I'm happy for them. I hope they do move to Montauk or wherever they're going to move and be lovely together because they're amazing. So I liked that. Nancy drops out of college. I feel like Nancy really carried a lot of what happened with the group. So I'm not mad at anything that Nancy Wheeler decides to do. She's a queen. She's a badass. And truly, without her, they probably all would have died. because she's the one in the final boss that was like, I'll distract Vecna. I got this. I got my little flamethrower. I'm good. I got my shotgun. She's Nancy Knock 'em Down Wheeler. That's the truth about that. Nancy Knock 'em Down. And that's clearly when Karen finally did something. Sorry to all the Karen Wheeler lovers out there, but y'all, she didn't do much for the first couple seasons. Oh, kids, come for dinner. And you know Ted's useless. So Nancy dropping out of college is actually not surprising to me because I feel like she is really at a crossroads in her life. And I think she's working as a journalist. Love that for her. I think Nancy was really dealt a really shitty hand. The Hawkins, what was it, Gazette? I don't even know. Where they were really making fun of her and her ideas. But Nancy knows she's a smart lady, right? She doesn't need to go to college to be successful. So I was happy with her. So Nancy's in Boston. Jonathan, I think he's in film school. I'm pretty sure he's in film school at NYU, he said. That's fine. Jonathan always had the camera. I don't dislike Jonathan, but like, I don't think he needed, I don't know. He was like such a minute character. And then they were like, oh, he always loved Nancy. So like now all of a sudden he's this kind of major character. And I don't know. I feel like I didn't need him to be either, to be honest with you. But I'm not the Duffer Brothers, so I don't get to make these decisions about who is a big character. And then Steve, I'm pretty sure stays in Hawkins, is the Little League baseball coach, and he's a sex ed teacher. I feel like that's actually so Steve Harrington coded that makes me laugh so much. So I was fine with that because he lived. And I know there's a scene where he picks Dustin up from college, so that was really touching. Robin goes to Smith College, which I'm pretty sure is like a historically like female dominated or even maybe all female college. And I think that might be the joke because like Robin is a lesbian. So of course she would go to that college. I'm pretty sure. If I'm wrong about that, that's fine. I can live with that. I know Dustin goes off to college. Oh yeah, here we go. Because Mike is telling this part of the story. So, Max and, what does he say? Max and Lucas remain a couple, which, I mean, did we need that, Mike? Ugh. Captain Obvious, they're endgame, so of course they're going to remain a couple. Dustin goes off to college, and he's really smart, but Dustin has always been really smart with science and stuff, so again, no surprise there that Dusty Buns would do that. I wish we had gotten to see Susie a little more. We did see her in last season, but that would have been nice. I don't know if he like called her or talked to her one final time on the ham radio. That would have been good. Just like a little closure for them. I would have liked that, but I understand. Then, so Max and, Lucas finally go on their movie date. Dustin is a scholar. Will moves to a big city, and I don't know, like the one thing I didn't mind and I appreciated Will's coming out scene, but I did not like that in the flash forward, Will's just featured like at a gay bar. Why can't he be at college or working or doing something cool? Like, why is it just, oh, I don't know. It just like wasn't enough for Will in comparison, but maybe the whole point was that Will is just accepted for who he is finally, and that's like all he ever wanted. That probably was the point. And then Mike remains a writer, a little storyteller. So overall, I loved season 5. I loved it for what it was. Was it my favorite Stranger Things season? No, it wasn't. I'm not going to say it was. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you it was, because it definitely was not. But I didn't hate it, but it wasn't my favorite. So we're going to pop this in my planner. But this spread, I can tell you, has ended up being one of my favorite spreads. Oh, so good. My final spread of 2025. We're ending it on a Stranger Things note. Friends, thank you so much for joining me for this extremely hot mess talk through plan with me video. I sincerely hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoy all my videos. Thank you for sticking with me for 2025. I hope we continue to grow together in 2026. I'll be here making videos until I don't feel like doing it anymore. Thank you again so very, very much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe if you have not already. And as always, I will see you all in my next video. Bye, friends.